Sports include team sports such as football and football to individual sports such as rock climbing or weightlifting. But when we start thinking of the rules behind the rules of sports, the rules of who can play and what they can use or do, there's a question of what we are actually celebrating. We claim that it's skill and practice, but is that true? Partially, but in both team sports and individual sports, we also celebrate genetics. If you were to take two people at a young age and gave them all the resources and had them skill up in playing the same sport, whether individually or on a team, there would still be a difference because of genetics. When we look at someone like Michael Phelps, an Olympic gold medalist swimmer, everything about his body seems to be the perfect specimen for swimming. He worked very hard for his medals, but his competitors also worked hard. In comparison, they're just not as genetically lucky in swimming. In team sports, it becomes a bit more complicated with having to know plays, strategies, and have the physical capabilities to do all these things. For example, to play professional basketball, one has to be fairly tall. There can be shorter team members, with the shortest active player in 2023 being 5'9" inches, but the average is 6'6" inches. There are different positions, of course, with different skills required, but underlying it is still a genetic factor. You have to be tall. Your brain has to be able to process spatial awareness. There is skill and strategy, but there's also ultimately a genetic component that we don't talk about. We will unpack more about transhumanism in sports, tribalism in sports, and how genetics impacts education. But for now, these are my 2 minutes.